start filming, I thought it might be a cool idea to show you guys where I get some of my inspiration from. So I have a folder on my phone called Makeup Looks To Do, which is just a load of photos that I've put together that I come across on Marmite, okay, that I come across on Instagram that I really like. So with this one, for example, her hair, the way she's done her hair, I really liked that, so I wanted to recreate it. And all the rest are basically makeup looks. But what I do is when I'm about to film and want some inspiration, I come into this folder, I have a look at the makeup looks and try to come up with something that I want to recreate. Sometimes I sort of completely copy the look and of course credit it, or sometimes I take inspiration from lots of different ones and kind of create my own look from it. But some days, if my inspiration is just feeling a little bit low, this really helps me out. And there we go, I am now set up in my filming space, I'm on my proper camera, and I'm ready to go with the makeup look, so let's do it.
Two hours later.
And here we have the entire look finished. Now that it is complete, it is actually time for me to leave the shed and go back into the house to take some photos. Now, I know it sounds completely crazy, but I have actually discovered that the best place to take photos of makeup looks in my house is sat in the bath. I kid you not. So I took this photo here in the bath. I took this photo in the bath. Like, I know it sounds super random, but for some reason I think it's just like the white background, and I have a massive window in my bathroom that brings the light in a load. So I'm just gonna go and sit in my bathtub and take some photos. Yes, this is my full-time job and I take my photos in the bathtub. I just want to use this moment as a little bit of a disclaimer to say, if you are wanting to set up your own Instagram or YouTube channel or something, but you feel like you don't have the equipment for it, or like, obviously this filming room is pretty like high tech. Obviously that I have a separate room to film in is amazing, and I'm so lucky, and the fact I've got a good camera and stuff like that. But you would not believe the amount of things that you can just kind of makeshift at home. Like, I'm taking my photos in my bath, and if that isn't a good enough like show of how DIY you can make this, then I don't know what is. So basically what I'm trying to say is, if you want to start an Instagram or a YouTube but you don't feel confident enough, or you feel like you're not good enough, or you haven't got, you know, whatever you need, like a camera or lights or whatever, I promise that you can find a way to do it with enough like thought and dedication, and have faith in yourself, believe in yourself. You can do it if you really want to, you've just got to put enough thought and creativity into it. So yeah, now I'm going to go back into the house and take some photos. I'm going to make sure I turn off all my lights and let's go. Welcome to my shower. Okay, so I'm aware how crazy this looks. I'm sat like scrunched up, my knees are like here in the bath, and I'm gonna try and take some photos. So the camera that I'm using is my Canon G7X, which is my vlogging camera. It's the G7X Mark II, I think, and it has this really useful flip-up screen, and the quality of these photos is just like crazy. One thing that I would recommend for photos is, the most important thing is not editing, it's the lighting and what camera you use. So obviously you can use like an iPhone. iPhone cameras are super good, you really don't need to invest in a new one. But a few weeks ago I discovered that this camera is actually amazing for taking selfies. So I've been using this with the flip-up screen so I can see what I'm doing and just taking photos in my shower. So yeah, let's get some selfies. Never are broken, are we? So I think I'm done with taking photos. I wasn't actually all that happy with how lots of them seem to be coming out. I've got really shaky hands today, which actually makes taking selfies quite difficult.
Oh, my hand hurts. I forgot my brace. Will you come over here and help me?
I know, right? First world problems. I'm going to have a look at them later and see what I think of them, but for now I'm just going to go and get some lunch because my family are having lunch now, so I will be back a little bit later. Alright, I'm now back in my room, and now I know this bit sounds kind of crazy, considering I finished this makeup look about 40 minutes to an hour ago. I'm actually going to take it off. I actually hate wearing makeup. I really don't like how it feels on my face. It's uncomfortable, especially with false lashes, and I just much prefer doing editing and all the little bits like afterwards without the makeup look on, I just feel a lot more fresh and comfortable, if that makes sense. So I'm going to take my makeup off right now. This isn't technically part of the video, but I just thought I'd show you like what I'm going to use. I'm going to use this Bare Minerals Oil Obsessed Total Cleansing Oil, which I absolutely love because it's really good for the environment. It's not like makeup wipes which you throw away and are pretty wasteful, and it also does a really good job of taking off my makeup. I've now washed off all the makeup, and I was planning to sit here and show you like my editing and how I do everything and just chat through it with you, because this is where I normally sit to do my editing and stuff. But then I thought it's actually a lot easier to film down in the shed because my camera is obviously all set up already. So it's just super easy for me to show you like what I'm doing. So normally I wouldn't edit down in there, but just because it's easier to show you on camera, I'm gonna do it. Okay, so we are back in the filming shed. As you can see, I put on a tiny bit of like natural makeup just because when I took the makeup off, not only did it stain my eyelids like I thought it would, but it also gave me a little bit of allergic reaction, I think, on my face. So my face is kind of not very happy with me at the moment. It's not too bad, just like a little bit. It's burning a tiny bit basically, which isn't a great thing. But yeah, so I just put on a little bit of extra makeup, but now I'm going to show you how I get the photos from my SD card onto my phone. So the way that I do this is using this little magic dongle thing that I got from the Apple store. I think they're about £20, and basically what you do is you just put the SD card in here and then connect it into your phone. Now obviously this doesn't actually have the SD card in it because it is being used to film this clip, but basically what appears when you put in the SD card is a little box in the bottom right hand corner of your camera roll, which you click on, and it basically shows you all the files on that card. So there's video files and photo files, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the photos from today, select all of them, click import, and they should all start importing. And then when it says do I want to keep or delete the things, I always say keep just to be safe because I don't want to like accidentally delete one and not be able to get it back. So then I just unplug the holder thing again and they're all on my phone. Now that I have all these photos imported to my camera roll, I'm going to go through all of them and just like the ones which I think are best. So as you can see, I did take a lot of photos, but see what I was saying about having like shaky hands? Like lots of these photos just aren't clear quality in a way that I would like them to be, so I'm quite glad that I took quite a few. But basically what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through all of them and just favourite, using the little hearts button down here, the ones which I like best. I literally don't like many of these. Oh, that one's okay. That one's not bad. I'll like it just in case. I look a little bit like a fish in this makeup look, not gonna lie. Now that I've gone through all of them and picked which ones I like the best, I also quite like that one, I'm gonna add that one, you know. Now that I've gone through and picked which ones I like, I'm going to go on to my favourites and just have a look at them in this format, because obviously on Instagram it's in a square format, so you don't see it as like the full screen thing. So I'm just going to look at it like this and see which one jumps out at me. And funnily enough, I actually think it might be this one, the one that I just added like last minute. I really like how my hair looks, I like where my eyes are looking, and I like how the makeup looks. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to jump onto Facetune. This is on the App Store. I think you have to pay for this one, but it's like £2 or £3. It's not very expensive at all. There's my old post. So favourites, there it is, use maximum size. But yeah, there's also Facetune 2, but I much prefer this one. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that my brightness is right up for this so I can see everything that I'm doing, and I'm just going to work my way along these bottom tabs here so that I make sure that I cover everything. For this, I'm going to take the first tool, which is whiten. Now this tool is usually used for whitening teeth, but as you can see, I'm not smiling in this picture, so I don't need to do that. But as you can see, this background here is white in real life, but in the picture it's come out slightly yellow. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to gently scrub over, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing, over this white background. And you guys can probably see that it just makes like this massive difference to making the makeup look pop. This is probably one of my favourite tools that I use in Facetune because it's nothing to do with the makeup, it's all to do with my surroundings, but it just makes it look so much better and cleaner. Is that a shadow? That must be my shadow. I didn't even realise that my shadow was showing. Okay, so now that we have whitened that background up, oh, I'm just going to do down here as well. I'm going to show you the difference. Something else that I really, really like about Facetune is this option down here, which allows you to see before and after. And I don't know about you guys, but it doesn't make a massive difference. I think it just makes the entire look pop a little bit more. So I'm going to click done for that and move on to the next tool, which is details. And I love this tool for working on my makeup because it just allows me to pick out bits of the makeup that I really want to accentuate. So for me, that's probably bits where there's like a pop of colour. So this green down here in my waterline I want to accentuate, and my false lashes, of course, this highlight in my inner corner, and this line of purple. I don't know if you can tell much difference, but the right hand side is the side that's been edited and the left hand side has not been edited. So I'm just going to do the same on the other side. I'm just sharpening everything up the tiniest bit, and then I also like to do a tiny bit in my brows. So once I have done that, I'm going to click the tick again, and what do I want to do next? Next, I'm going to go into the tones button, and I'm going to just accentuate my highlighter. So I'm going to zoom right in on my eye. I know that looks a bit gross. And I'm going to take the picker tool, and I'm just going to tap on where I have the highlighter. So I'm going in on the inner corner of my eye, and I'm just going to lighten it up the tiniest bit from the shade that it actually picked. And I'm just going to gently add a tiny bit of extra highlighter. Now you don't want to go overboard with this because it is very easy to make it look fake, so I'm just using like a few taps, and then I'm going to go back with the picker tool into my skin highlight, which is here, and make it a tiny bit lighter again, and just do the same over that highlight. I think I might have added the tiniest bit too much. So if you get too much, you can just go in with the erase tool and just take some of it away. So yeah, as I say, less is definitely more, and stick to the places where you can see the texture of the highlight, rather than, say if I wanted to put some highlight here, it would just make it really obvious. Like you can see the difference between like this highlighter on the inner corner and the highlight that I've just done on my forehead. It just doesn't look right. They always work on what is already there. Don't try and add things in from scratch because that isn't going to look good. And then I'm going to do a tiny bit over here because I've got a tiny bit of highlight there. Honestly, less is more with this. Tiny bit on my cheekbone. There we go. And I think that's about it. So now I'm just going to show you the before and after again, just using this little button. So it's not like massive changes that I'm making, but it just makes the image look a bit more Instagram ready. So we are now done with Facetune, so I'm going to save it to my camera roll and go into the love of my life, which is VSCO Cam. So I've gone into VSCO, and I think I used the free version of this. So as you can see, here are some of my old photos that I've edited on here, but I'm going to make sure to take the version that I've edited on Facetune, click import, edit down in the left hand corner, and then I'm not going to use these filters. These are like set filters. Oh, that's actually quite pretty. No, I'm not going to use that though. But yeah, I don't like using the set filters. I like to fiddle around with it myself. As you can see, it's got all these functions, and you can pay for more, I think, but I just don't. I'm going to go into exposure, and now this bit is just honestly mainly up to you to do what you like to do, and for me every photo is different, so I don't edit all the photos the same. Like I don't have a saved preset that I always use because every photo is different. I'm just going to play around with it. I think the main thing I want to do is lower the contrast, because as you can see my hair is very dark but the background up here is very light, so that's the main thing I'm going to do. So contrast, let's take that down a tiny bit, but at the same time I don't want to wash out my makeup. So it's all about just like fiddling around with it and seeing what works. Then I'm going to sharpen up the image to make it look a bit higher quality, add some saturation because it's got a bit washed out. Can you see how much of a difference that makes? Going from that to that to that. No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to do that much. But I'd say about there looks good to me. Then tones, shadows I'm going to bring up so it's a bit lighter. I might take the saturation down the tiniest bit just because I think it's a bit much for me. What do I want to do? Highlights. No, I like highlights staying the same, probably maybe a tiny bit up. Skin tone. I think my skin tone's sort of pretty much in the middle there. I might make it a tiny bit more pink. Add some vignette, I think this is called, just because it makes the photos bring more attention to the makeup. And then fade is one of my all-time favourite effects on VSCO. and it just makes it look super like clean and high quality. So there we go. We have the photo saved to my camera roll. That is the image, and I wouldn't post it like that in Instagram. I would probably crop it down, but I prefer to do that when I'm actually posting it. I'd probably crop it to about like probably something like that and try and get myself in the center of the frame. So I'm not actually going to do it because I prefer to do it when I'm about to post, but that is what that looks like. Let's see if I can find the original image. So here is the first image that is completely raw from my camera roll, unedited, and there is the final photo, and then there's the Facetune version, so you can see all the different versions and like the steps you've taken. And something that I really like to do on my Instagram is to post the edited version and also the non-edited version, just so that people can like get an idea of what's real and achievable with even like top like quality cameras and, well, I would say lighting, but I'm literally sat in my bath. So yeah, I just like to have the real version and also the edited version so you can compare. So that is how I edit my Instagram photos. Now, recently on my Instagram, I have started doing more posts like this, where I've put sort of stickers over the top or just added something to make it a little bit more interesting. And the way that I do this is, I'm just going to show you this really quickly because I don't do this that often, but I go into an app called PixArt, which I'm pretty sure again is free. And I find my edited photo and I go into stickers and I can type in pretty much whatever I want, and they have so many cute stickers. So I'm just going to take this one as an example. I probably wouldn't use this with this look, but what I'm going to do is try and make like a halo around my head. So I've just made this bigger by like dragging it, and then I'm going to take this little eraser button and start erasing around my head, so it gives me this little like circle around my head. Now again, as I say, I probably wouldn't do this for this look. You can literally find whatever stickers you want on this app. They have so many, and I've also done this super quickly. Oh, okay, that was too quickly, so it's made it a bit messy, but as you can see, you can literally just add whatever you want over the top, and they have so many. So say I wanted to find some clouds, I could just type in, oh, clouds stickers, and look how many they have. They have so many. And look how many they have. They have so many. They're all super aesthetic and cute, and this is probably one of my favourite apps. This is also where I make my thumbnails for my YouTube videos, so definitely recommend this one. So yeah, that is how I edit all my Instagram photos. I literally do the same every single time. I'm afraid I don't have, as I say, like presets or ways that I do it every single time. It's just like working out your preference, but those are the main apps I use. So yeah, I hope that that was helpful in seeing what I do for editing my photos. I believe that that is it for this video. I really hope that it was what you guys were hoping for and that you enjoyed it, and if you did, then do make sure to leave a like and subscribe and leave me a comment letting me know what you want to see next, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!